This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake that fire.
Wake your fuck ass up.
Sway in the morning, Shade 45. Heather B.
Talk to me, homie.
You know, we often try to share our information and knowledge on these platforms, whether we're working on any of these Viacom networks or with Sirius XM. And, you know, as you know, Heather, when you get into the music business, you find that it's cliquish at times.
Yeah.
People don't always want to be forthcoming with information that can help another one advance and catapult their career. A lot of it has to do with insecurities, and a lot of us work in fear, you know, and a lot of folks feel threatened. And so when I find people who are willing to share the information that made them great and help them achieve their success, it's always a blessing. Our next guest brings more than 15 years as president of media sales at BET Networks. He is responsible for more advertising dollars, targeted $4.5 billion of advertising dollars in his tenure. He has been named one of the most influential and prominent African Americans in the media and marketing industry. He's written a book. It's called Dirty Little Secrets, and I was reading this excerpt that said information has value, which is the reason many people are disinclined to share it. Instead, they selfishly protect their experiences and paths to success as though they are patented. Dirty Little Secrets, in essence, they have no desire to offer you the advantage to achieve what they may or may not have. Well, here's a book where one of the most successful people in his field has created to share all of his experiences from childhood to now. His foreword was written by the first African American billionaire, Mr. Bob Johnson, to give you an idea of how important this man is. And I wanted to read something from the foreword that Bob Johnson said. He said, "You will be motivated, inspired by Lewis's life and his firm belief that the challenges we confront in work and life can be overcome by faith, perseverance, and the pursuit of perfection." Please welcome our guest, the one and only Lewis Carr, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, great to have you on the show.
Oh, man, this is a privilege for me to be here on this is my 30th anniversary at BET. And to be here with family.
Yes.
You know, you are like family.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
He actually hired you to this day.
Yes.
30 years ago.
August 11th, 1986.
1986.
Wow.
And he said we are a family for many reasons that have nothing to do with this business we work in.
Yeah.
But also because we have our show on One Shot. Correct. That is now with BET, and I'm really excited about it because it's the first official time I've been able to do so. For years, I've been like, Stephen Hill, let's do something together. And we did a simulcast once with MTV and BET where we interviewed the president up in D.C.
Correct.
And we've done red carpets with the morning show, but now I'm in the family. Right. So before we talk about this book, how can I best partner up with BET with this show? And what do I need to be concerned about in terms of advertisement in our rollout?
We're excited about the show. I know we've put in a big marketing plan behind the show. We're looking forward to it. We've got a major sponsor as part of the show.
Can we say it? Yeah. Cricket Wireless.
Yeah, Cricket Wireless.
Yeah.
So we're excited about it. We're doing some special things with them on the network and throughout the show. So I think people will clearly know that they are the sponsor within the show for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I say it enough. Okay, cool. I definitely want to talk with you. We'll talk about the show, but I want to find out how I could best navigate through the system. This is a great show. You know, I don't know if you've seen any of the clips.
I have.
You know, and I really think it's going to permeate in an organic way. To that everyday, first of all, consumer or viewer that's watching it on whatever platform they're watching it, they'll look at this show and go, damn, my dreams are within arm's reach. You know, all I got to do is be persistent. All I got to do is believe in myself, accept that there's something special about myself, and go for it.
Well, you have a major platform and millions of followers. So I think, you know, through your social media platform and through this show, let people know that it's coming on and, you know, what the show is about. That will help us, all of us.
How has the digital space changed media advertising, in your opinion?
It's primarily, I think, been additive to it. When you look at our linear space, it's still the biggest space, but linear-based, digital-based on its multiple platforms and touch points has really been effective, and we embrace it. At one point, I think all of television kind of like,
was scared,
right?
Yeah.
Now we realize it is a necessity for all of us.
This book, there's a few chapters I want to ask you about. First of all, why did you decide to write it, Dirty Little Secrets? What made you decide to write this?
Well, it's sort of for two reasons. Number one, there's been so many people that have been helpful to me throughout my life and my career, and I've always wondered why. So whether they were employers, whether they were neighbors, whether they were teachers or parents, they've always went out of their way to try to help me become just great at everything. And then I realized that I owe something for that to people who may have been like me or may be like me right now. So I wanted to, it was twofold, paying it backwards and paying it forward.
You're a philanthropist. You created organizations to help increase minority representation in the field. This is all of giving back. How has that benefited you?
With great joy.
Yeah.
I think, the more we do for others, and I think success is really, in my opinion, is having positive impact beyond yourself and your family. Really having impact on people who may not get an opportunity, who may not understand, who really need some guidance and mentorship. So it has been absolutely great for me, great for my brand, and gives me personal joy.
Let's talk about that. Some of the things you talk about in this book, you bring up your brand as the ability to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Talk about, there's a chapter where you talk about reinventing yourself. Why is that important, and how do you know if you're doing that correctly?
Well, the world is ever changing.
Yeah.
I mean, you just talked about digital and the role that it plays in our particular business. If you're not willing to reinvent yourself, you'll find yourself, irrelevant. Nobody will understand you, want to be around you. So whether it's in regards to your personal business or your personal life, you always want to be on the cutting edge of what's happening in today's world. I think in order to rebuild our communities, to stay up with our professions, we have to understand what is happening and educate ourselves on a consistent basis.
The work never stops.
Totally.
You got a chapter called Don't Fight Being Special.
Right.
That's a lot of game in that title right there, HB.
I know it.
Right? What does that mean? And how did you?
Well, when I grew up, my mother, teachers, coaches kept telling me, "You're special," and I felt that was trying to say I was better than anybody else, and I was like, I don't like that, and I fought it for years. And finally, a coach, one of my track coaches, I said, "Why do people want me to be special? That's sort of separating." And he said, "No, it's not. It's just making you the leader." Special people lead, and we want leaders. Leaders are necessary in every aspect of our life. So that kind of clicked with me, and I know that there are a lot of young people out there today who are like, I don't want to be special because it seems to separate. But it separates you as the leader, and people need to lead, and some people need to be led.
As a leader, what are some of those qualities you should be aware of or try to insert into your everyday life?
Well, you want to have vision.
Okay.
All right. People want to follow people who can, as we say, see around the corner. What's the next hot thing? What's the next best thing? What's the best thing for me? What are we going to be doing a year from now, 5 years from now? So you want to have vision. Number two is you want to be disciplined. You want to be focused. You want to be able to say no to certain things and then know the things to say yes to at the right time. You also want people to be knowledgeable. I mean, people like information. I found that out over 30 years that, my team, the best thing I can do for them is really understand the business. And you want to have relationships. For me, this is just a privilege to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. The privilege is mine, man. What are you saying? 4.5 billion, I ain't done that. But no, thank you. I appreciate that. This book is different from a lot of books I've read because every page is game. Every page, you picking up gems, and sometimes it's confirmation, and sometimes it's new information.
Right.
And I know that what I like, our similarities are, Heather B, Lewis Carr is a track star,
Oh,
former track
gosh,
star
wait.
in Chicago.
So you added star now to your resume because I know you ran track, but I didn't hear star until just now.
Well, I'm not going to fight that I'm special. But, this is what I
Oh, you just
Lewis
picked that
told
up.
me don't fight the fact
deny
that you're special.
Right.
I was a Northern California champion, regional champion of 400-meter hurdles on our junior college level. That's special, right?
Hey, to run the 400-meter hurdles is special because they call just the 400 meters a man killer. To add a hurdle in front of it, that really makes you special.
It makes you special. Have the B.
There's no documentation of that though, Mr. Carr. We're still waiting. So we're going along.
This is not true. My high school coach came here and verified it.
It said you ran track.
But here's the point I'm making. A lot of the principles and habits and discipline I learned in track helped me navigate through this music business, follow my passions, monetize it, and sustain a career as long as I've been able to do it. A lot of what I learned growing up running track helped that out.
The greatest thing I think about track is it's a team sport that requires individual accountability.
Yes.
All right? So you're part of a team, but you have to do your part. So that's the greatest thing. So it gives you that accountability, that responsibility, that discipline, and that sort of stress and pressure that, hey, I got to do my part to score points.
That stress and pressure, and know how to live in that stress and pressure and perform at your highest capability, right? Man, Lewis Carr, man, I'm surprised we haven't sat down and done this sooner, man.
I want to go back to what you said about staying ahead of the curve and making sure you're always in the know about what's going to be hot next and things like that, because a lot of us in here, we have to constantly go on websites, blogs, social media, watch TV shows that we really don't want to tune into.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it becomes overwhelming because you just in the way of knowing what's going on and being current, you're also overloading yourself with a lot of stuff that you really just wish you could tune out.
Right.
Have you ever felt the need to actually take a break, a mental break or anything, and just like, look, this is too much, I need to step back for a minute?
Well, I classify myself as a student. So it's sort of like when you were in school. There were a lot of classes you loved because that's just what you were into. And then there were some classes you're sitting there like, why am I taking this? I'm never going to use this information. And then you find out years later, wow, I'm so glad I took that class because I never thought I would be in this situation. Now I can reach back and understand the knowledge that was given to me at that particular time. So I try to encourage people to be students of information. I encourage the people who work for me, be a student, sort of consume and understand and engage in everything, because you never know when you're going to run up on that situation that you're going to have to reach back and get that knowledge that was given to you or you read about or you learned.
Student of information. The author of the book, Dirty Little Secrets, is here. Take advantage of this mind, this person, this spirit, what he's accomplished. He's willing to give it to you for free. But I want to encourage you guys to pick up the book, Dirty Little Secrets. You can make it applicable to any part of your life, whether you're trying to get into entertainment or if you want to go in the medical field or philanthropy, whatever it is. There's something in this book that could benefit you. And we're going to open up the phone lines, 888-742-3345.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed.
Sway the Morning Shade 45. Author of Dirty Little Secrets, Lewis Carr is here. Also the president of Black Entertainment Television Media Sales. Has been instrumental in at least $4.5 billion of advertisement money to the African American community. He knows our people, Heather.
Yeah. It's so funny. I think, we were talking about this morning, Louis, on air about work being very cliquish. Like there's cliques at work. There's phony people at work, people you necessarily don't like. I have phony hours, Louis, so I use them up accordingly. By the end of the week, I'm usually done, and then I set a new phony hours. But, people say you got to play that game a little bit in order to get ahead. Do you find that sometimes people let the cliques or the phoniness of the industry kind of keep them out of the race, or it helps them?
Well, it may help them for a short period of time, but at the end of the day, you got to show up with some performance. So it may get you in the door. It may get you to certain events. It may get you in certain cliques. But at the end of the day, the performance is going to speak for itself.
Yeah.
2 questions. One, because I keep thinking about that 1.5 5 billion.
That's
4.5, excuse me, plus 3. 4.5 billion advertising dollars, making my head spin. But it's bringing me to, there's a major dialogue about how Black people should be spending their money and, you know, keeping it within the community. So I'm curious, when it comes to your back and forth within the advertisers, are you always trying to get Black-owned companies at the forefront?
Well, what we're trying to do is, at the end of the day, get, whether they're Black-owned companies or white-owned companies, to respect the value, the lifestyle, and the culture of our consumers at the end of the day. Because as we say, what we do tomorrow, do today, the world does tomorrow. So, you know, respect that value, pay the right price for that value, engage in them, support them in every aspect that you possibly can. So we really just sell the value of African American consumers and the things that they do and the impact that they have on businesses.
Got you. My other thing is, I'm wondering how you feel about Black Twitter, because a lot of people, we know the power of Black Twitter.
We all know, it's a real thing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then on one hand, we have some people who, they feel like they're being watched all the time on Black Twitter, and there's, you know, all these different like charts somewhere that are really just putting a magnifying glass on the Black community. And then on the other half too, people feel like it's not giving its just due credit. So what are your thoughts on Black Twitter in general?
Well, people are still trying to understand Black Twitter. It's basically, you know, how does it, as somebody asked me, how does it work? And I kind of laughed. And I was like, it's not like a separate group or something like that. So people are really trying to understand what it is. And it's just really Black culture, Black lifestyle, how we respond and we engage to things. And because it's so powerful, in relatively a small number, it really is confusing a lot of people out there. So that's why I think, you know, some of the sort of crazy questions that we get about Black Twitter, it's just a lack of understanding and their unbelief in the power that it has.
Right. Absolutely.
In your book, Dirty Little Secrets, which, by the way, people could find this on iTunes or Amazon. Where can they?
They can find it on Amazon.
Okay.
It will be in Barnes & Noble on September 1st. And they can go to lewiscarrbook.com.
Oh, there. See, look, you see that? That was smart right there. He prefer you go to lewiscarbook.com. One of the chapters is That Uncomfortable Place. And you talk about how you were relocated to downtown Chicago, in proximity to Johnson's Publishing. And one of the things you say is, don't be afraid to operate in an uncomfortable space. It is only going to help you grow. Right. Explain that. What do you mean by that?
You know, I found that a lot of people sort of get satisfied and used to what they know. They don't want to go any place or do anything that they've never experienced before because they are afraid that they won't be successful at it. And this happens at every economic level. I was talking to a friend of mine just recently who was offered a CEO job. And he said to me, I really don't know if I can be successful. And I was just shocked.
Yeah.
And that's because he'd never done it before. So this would be his first time becoming a CEO. And, you know, I had to encourage him. I had to really tell him about, remember your background and all your training and that you're better prepared for this. And I want young people also to understand you've got to sometimes come out of the place that you're most comfortable. You know, do some things, learn some things that you never thought you would do in order to grow in your everyday life. I had the privilege when Bill Clinton was president. Bob had took us to a small event, about 25 people, and we could ask him anything we wanted to ask. And I said, Mr. President, how big does your ego have to want to be the leader of the free world? And he looked at me without hesitation. He said, not big at all, Louis. He said, you just look at the person that's already doing it and go, I can do better than that.
I think we're going to end the interview on that note right there. Mr. Louis Carr, man, I really appreciate you coming by the show,
thank you, man.
I hope we can have you on, more, periodically. You could just share this information with our listeners and our viewers.
And we're excited about you being part of the BET family.
Yeah.
And thank you today for giving me my one shot.
Yeah, you got your one shot. Your one shot. And one shot, we're gonna be doing a preview of the show on August 16th at the Music Moguls.
Nice.
And then the debut airing is August 23rd, 10 p.m. Tuesday, only on BET every Tuesday. We're really excited about it. Some kid is gonna walk away with $100K.
That's crazy.
I know this for a fact. My pockets are struggling in a record deal. But most importantly, every kid that entered this competition is getting exposure, and they're being put in an uncomfortable place. And from this experience, they're going to learn and they're going to grow. So even if you're not the one to get the $100K or the one to get that record deal, you're still winning. Look at what Jennifer Hudson did with American Idol.
Absolutely. Just the experience. You're going to learn something.
Absolutely. Mr. Lewis Carr, thank you for coming by. We
Thank
got
you.
Pretty Dirty Little Secrets. Make sure you pick up the book. First Day with Kelly Kincaid is up next. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45.
It's Sway in the morning. Only
On Shade 45.
Kilo.